This podcast is sponsored by Xgrowth. Xgrowth is the APAC ABM agency. If you and your organization are looking to land and expand enterprise mid-market deals, Xgrowth is the agency to help. Xgrowth works with a wide range of international and global technology vendors, service providers, and B2B SaaS companies. If this sounds like something you're interested to know more about, make sure to check out Xgrowth at xgrowth.com.au. That's xgrowth.com.au and chat with the APAC ABM agency.
What's up, marketers, and welcome to another episode of the Growth Colony podcast. I'm Liza from Xgrowth to tell you that each episode we bring in B2B leaders to chat about how you can achieve those everyday wins in the marketing world. Whether you're new to the B2B game, working at a leadership level, or even just showing some interest, we know you'll love the episode. So grab a drink, get comfy, and enjoy the show.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode. I'm Shaheen Hoda with Xgrowth, and today I'm talking to Jessica Turnbull, Director of Marketing Communications at Sendle. We're going to be talking about everything product marketing. I'm really excited to dive in and better understand how product marketing is integrated in Sendle and what are some of the objectives that Jessica and the team have from a product marketing perspective for the company. On that note, let's dive in. Jessica, thanks for joining us.
Thanks, Shaheen. Thank you so much for having me.
I'm really excited to have this conversation. I think product marketing is a area, especially in the APAC region. I think overall it's one of the youngest kind of areas in especially SaaS and B2B, but it's also an area that I don't think we get exposed to it as much in the APAC region because most of the product marketing happens HQ. So if you are an organization who, your HQ is the US or UK, usually you might be talking to them, but you really are not in that product marketing world. So I'm really excited to talk about this.
Awesome. Me too.
Yeah, let's go to basics, right? And the first question I want to ask you is, why do companies need product marketing? Like, where does this area come in?
Sure. Yeah. Well, for me, the product marketing paradigm is about ensuring happy customers. And we know that happy customers equate to increased acquisition and retention. So in terms of product marketing, what it does is it defines the positioning, value proposition, and messaging of a product. They educate and create tools to ensure salespeople and external customers understand the product that is being brought to market. Product marketing does live in both the B2C and B2B world. However, some may argue that product marketing is more important in B2B as the buying processes are typically more complex. There are more decision makers involved. For example, in an enterprise or mid-market, you'll have a buying committee, and the products and solutions are typically more complex. And so the role of the product marketing function is to translate complicated products, solutions, technology into simple messaging for customers to understand. And so in my role at Sendle and many other roles that I've been in that have focused on B2B strategies, what I've seen, or what in my mind are the 5 key benefits that are derived from product marketing. So I'll quickly run through those. The first one is around reduced customer acquisition cost, so CAC. When the product itself is driving sales, customers promote the product for you organically. That can be through word of mouth or built-in referral mechanisms by inviting a team member or friend or sharing value on social networks. And this obviously leads to a compounding effect. The second benefit that I see that's derived from product marketing is increased retention and lower churn rates. So, and that's driven by a low to no human touch. So customers are more likely to self-onboard, a much faster sales cycle, and customer support teams can tailor their efforts to upsell, actively engage customers, and troubleshoot for those who are most likely to leave. The third benefit I see is around improved customer experience. There is no wait time to experience the product. There's no curated demo and sales pitch, as they have experienced it prior to chatting with sales or are happy to onboard themselves, as I mentioned earlier. And this helps reduce any friction in the buying process. The fourth benefit is around differentiation and defensibility. And in a competitive market, the best customer experience wins. Product-led growth allows you to disrupt the category you're in and build a really strong moat around your brand. You can increase your business organically without a huge advertising budget or a sales team that is constantly working the phones. And the last key benefit that's derived from product marketing is that it drives demand from your buyers. So you understand your customers' needs and pain points up front, and therefore you can build the product to meet their requirements. Sales can focus on genuine leads, and no marketing tactic works better than a great product. So for me, product-led growth, or organizations that adopt that, deliver a better experience for users and deliver higher satisfaction levels in existing customers, and this in turn drives more revenue for the business.
I love it. I love it. So reducing CAC, retention, customer experience, defensibility, and really increasing that demand for buyers. I mean, that's kind of great summary. And it's interesting. You talked about kind of product led growth. Where do you see product marketing and PLG as kind of interchangeable terms, or you see product marketing being the main driver of PLG? How do you see the connection between the two?
I think product-led growth doesn't just belong to product marketing. If you have a look at where product marketing operates, it's at the center of product marketing, sales, and customer success teams. So it's not just a marketing initiative, it needs to be adopted by throughout the whole organization. So I wouldn't say they're interchangeable. I think product marketing drives demand for the actual product, but product-led growth is an initiative that needs to be adopted through the whole organization, endorsed by the leadership team, or have an executive sponsor at the least to drive that narrative. Yeah.
Got it. Okay. And where does when you're looking at product marketing at Sendle, where does that sit in kind of Sendle's organizational hierarchy?
So it's very interesting. Where it sits currently at Sendle is that, and so, sorry, let me start. The one thing that's become clear to me since joining Sendle is the importance of dedicated product marketing. And so we don't have a specific product marketing team at this point in time, but we have a go-to-market team, and that sits within the marketing team currently. But it's something that I'll be prioritizing in my team moving forward. We have James Chinmoody, who is our CEO, who is the executive sponsor. He's behind, and very supportive of this product marketing focus. But yeah, currently we don't have a dedicated team, but it's something we're looking to explore.
Got it. But it seems like that's right now it's being driven by the GTM team. Is that right?
Correct. Yeah.
Interesting. And what are some of the other responsibilities that kind of for now sits under the GTM team?
So there is a little bit of a crossover between product marketing and product development, but they do not have the same responsibilities. So, and I'll just, clarify that product managers focus mostly on building the product in response to the needs of the customer and achieving product market fit, while product marketers focus more on driving demand and product usage. So what a product marketer needs to do, or a go-to-market lead needs to do, is really dive into the insights, behind the products. What does product adoption look like if it's an existing product? Who's actually using it? What does the revenue look like from that specific product? And then, going even deeper into margins and understanding the usage of that. So that's a ongoing thing. Product marketing is responsible for the voice of customer as well. So they really need to understand the data, but they also need to speak to customers day in, day out, which actually we do at Sendle across a number of different departments. We're very customer centric. And then they need to translate those insights into campaigns, into product marketing, etc. A couple of the responsibilities they'll have in building out a go-to-market strategy. So they'll identify the business objectives for that specific product. The target audience is critical, and they'll get a really good understanding of that through both the data that they're analyzing and the customers that they're talking to. So they'll understand the target customers and markets, the differentiated offerings a key. So what differentiates this product compared to, say, our competitors out there? What are the channels that we want to amplify this product in? And then off the back of that, we'll work together to identify the marketing strategies, the key metrics that marketing will drive, and the key success factors.
Love it. Got it. That makes sense. You talked about customer feedback and getting insights from customers. I want to dive a little bit deeper into that and better understand how do you go and first of all, where does that come in at Sendle? And my second question, the follow-up question to that is, how do you actually go about capturing that?
Sure. So at Sendle, as I mentioned, the customer is at the heart of everything we do. And we're constantly seeking feedback from our customers across various teams and at various points of their customer journey. So from a marketing perspective, we're speaking to customers sometimes daily, but very regularly. The product team are also speaking to customers. You've also got, obviously the customer support team. Everyone at Sendle at some point are talking to our customers, which can get a little bit, confusing, but we have set up, some tools around Miro to identify who's talking to which customer, and often I did a customer interview the other day and we were talking about the delivery experience, and there was something that specific customer mentioned, and I passed it on to the product team to explore further. So we have a cross-functional group in that sense. But in terms of how we capture customer feedback at Sendle, we have several Slack channels set up which capture customer feedback and sentiment in real time, including NPS. So we can see every NPS score that comes in at any point. We're also constantly analysing and implementing measures in regards to key health metrics for the business and brand. So in terms of our OKRs and our daily reporting, we'll see feedback in terms of customer satisfaction and NPS. We also do regular customer and product surveys, which I love as it helps the team and I identify which products have great product market fit and where we could do better. We also are present at Sendle across review sites globally, which is another great source for customer feedback, thinking of product review, site Jabber, etc. The team, as I mentioned, the team and I also regularly speak to customers, but what it really helps us identify or inform actually is the brand, our customer segmentation, and helps us develop new campaigns. As there are many touch points across the business, we're also in the process of formalizing and building out our customer advisory board. It's been up and running in the US for some time, and there's been some great success from having a regular dialogue with customers there to help inform product development and go-to-market messaging. And we're looking to replicate that in Australia. And I personally love reading feedback from our customers, and there are a lot of customers that love Sendle and are willing to share insights to help us enhance our business as well as theirs.
Jessica, can you unpack the customer advisory board a little bit more? I'm interested to better understand, like, how does that look like? Is that from acquisition and the type of activities that you might run with a customer advisory board?
Yeah, so the customer advisory board has been set up based on our segmentation and our high value customers. So off the back of that, we've then approached, or in the US, they've then approached the customers that fit within our high value customer set. At the moment, we have a handful of customers that sit on that, and then we have different representatives. It's driven by the product team, but marketing can get involved, our network team, etc. And we meet with them on a regular basis to get their feedback on what they love about Sendle and what we could do better. And so that's a monthly check-in. And we also run specific initiatives by them, campaigns. We also actually, off the back of these conversations, we also, leverage our customers in our campaigns, because what better way to promote your product than via a customer that loves it? And so you may have seen a lot of activity that we're running recently in Australia with Sydney Sock Project, which is one of the great brands that uses Sendle and a great advocate for us. So yeah, we've had really good success with it in the US, and as I mentioned, we're building that out in Australia at the moment.
Got it. Very interesting. And that was kind of my next question from a product marketing perspective, how does that kind of get into the company's communication, the ad, the content. And I feel like you've touched on that where you kind of incorporate some of those customer messages. But is there anything else over there that we can unpack?
Yeah, so I think as I mentioned earlier, you need to start with analyzing the customer feedback and the data in your business to ascertain whether the product you are looking to promote has good product market fit. So if it's an existing product, what's the product adoption been like? Who is using it? What does the revenue and margin look like for the product? And this is something that we've recently done at Sendle for our 250 grams product, which we're coining as, well, which is Australia's cheapest parcel. And so we've got a campaign that's been running for the last couple of months. And so obviously we've got all of those insights around the 250 grams product, which is unique in the Australian market. And then we've built out a go-to-market plan off the back of that, which I mentioned earlier includes the business objectives for 250 grams, who's the target audience, target market and the target customers. What are the differentiated offerings? So no one else in market currently has a 250 grams weight break, which is great. And then off the back of that, we built out the channels that we wanted to promote this in. So, and what are the marketing strategies and the key metrics and success factors for the 250 grams? So we've done this with 250 grams and we've leveraged it across earned channels. So we've recently had a number of, a big amount of media coverage across the Australian and all the affiliated titles. And we're looking to, build on that further. We also launched a paid campaign where we trialed for the first time in a little while, Facebook and YouTube, those brand building channels. And we also, used LinkedIn for the first time and tested out specific messaging across those channels. And then from an own perspective, we've, optimized our website a lot around 250 grams. We've created blogs. We've leveraged Sydney Sock Project as our hero customer for 250 grams. And yeah, we're having so much fun with it. We've only just gotten started. And I think, the messages that we've tested out across the different channels, the one that's really sort of resonated is, how we can save money for small businesses in such a tough economic climate. And so, Sydney Sock Project have happily, shared that they're saving $8,000 a year by switching their business to Sendle. Yeah, and the other thing that's super important with product marketing, that it isn't a set and forget. I've seen this happen before where you've launched a campaign, it's gone for 6 weeks or a couple of months, and then it just tapers off. But we're going to continue pushing 250 grams ongoing for now.
Man, 250 grams all the way. I love that.
Yeah.
I love that. That's such a strong messaging. It makes an impression and it's hard to forget. I love it. And you kind of driving it through multiple different channels. That's great. That's great. Okay. Last question I want to ask you on product marketing is, what is your advice for someone who's looking to build their product marketing team and function? As I know you're kind of going through this and you probably halfway through like making that a reality in terms of like having a proper department or marketing team allocated to that. But what is your advice for people who are in a little bit of an earlier stage and looking at building that function out for the company?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, product marketing is a personal passion of mine, and I've been working closely with our go-to-market team, which is fairly new. But now more than ever, it's something that I'll be prioritizing in my team. So first things first, if you don't have a product marketing manager in the business, which to your point earlier, they can often sit off, overseas in headquarters and that, appoint someone that owns go-to-market and make sure that it is part of their job description and is a role and responsibility for them and it is baked into the OKRs or whatever goals that you use in the organization, but also make sure that you have an executive sponsor to push it through to the wider organization. It isn't just a marketing initiative. You need to have buy-in from, product to support to sales to the CTO even. So make sure that it's widely adopted by the organization. Then in terms of the more tactical parts to this role, you need to understand your customers better. You need to develop and agree on buyer personas, and that's through all of that rich customer information that you have, whether it's qualitative data or quantitative analysis. So interview your customers as much as you can. Surprisingly, they'll want to talk to you because they want to improve their business and they want you to improve your business as well. Make sure that whoever's in this role learns about your competitors, not only the products, but the marketing tactics that they're leveraging, so that you can really identify the differentiated offering for your business. Ensure that the marketing, product, and sales team are all on the same page. There's no point someone in marketing building this out and then they take it to sales and it flops. This role will need to develop a go-to-market plan and position the product appropriately in the market, which will help boost revenue and improve sales. And the biggest key takeout for this is, don't let this be a set and forget. So product marketing is a continual effort, and just because you may have great product market fit now doesn't mean that in 6 months' time you will have that. So, my biggest piece of advice is keep analyzing the trends and data.
That's a great advice, and especially the one that you said, if you have product market fit today, that doesn't mean that if you kind of leave it on its own, that's going to maintain at that fit at a later point. And I've definitely been in that position where that is felt across the company. And sometimes people don't know what's happening because you really need to have a good grasp of what is happening in the market to be able to identify that. So thanks for pointing that out. I want to ask some rapid fire questions, Jessica. Before
Sure.
we dive into that, is there anything else on the product marketing and everything that we talked about that you think we maybe didn't touch on, or it's important for us to cover, or I didn't ask?
No, I think the biggest takeout is that a product marketer, and that may not be readily available to people in startup or in specific organizations, but a go-to-market owner must be empowered to be effective, and product marketing needs to be implemented thoughtfully into an organization. And I think that's the biggest takeout for me. And I've been in organizations where it has worked, and I've been in some that haven't. But yeah, it's a constant push, and yeah, it needs to be embraced by everyone.
Got it.
Have you read the State of ABM and APAC report yet? If you have, you'll know that 59% of marketing leaders are intending to increase their ABM investment in the coming year. Even bigger news is 0% of survey respondents are going to decrease their investment. It's an exciting time for ABM in the region. Discover the state of account-based marketing in APAC today. Download the full report at abm.xgrowth.com.au/report. That's abm.xgrowth.com.au/report.
Okay, let's do some rapid fire questions.
Sure.
First question is, what is one resource? This could be a talk, it could be a podcast, it could be a LinkedIn social post, or it could be a TikTok short video, or a book, whatever it is that has had a profound impact on the way you work and live.
Yeah, so I think tying it back to this conversation, Product Marketing Debunked, which is written by Yasmin Tarahi. It's the essential go-to-market guide. And I remember when I first heard the term, around go-to-market in my early marketing career, and yeah, it's really sort of helped me. I use different frameworks from different places essentially, but I love this book as it takes unformed concepts and ideas and demonstrates how to create a proper strategy and go-to-market plan for commercializing a product. And it's extremely useful, this book, for B2B, but it can also be applied to B2C companies as well. And you can use the framework as a starting point, and you can then add and remove things that make more sense for your industry and growth stage. And it comes with a complete checklist and other tested frameworks that every company or entrepreneur should use before launching a product.
Great piece of advice. Okay, question number 2 is, if you could only give one advice to B2B marketers, what would it be?
Okay, so my biggest piece of advice is align, and that's around sales and marketing. And misalignment between the two is the number one reason why an organization's annual revenue stagnates or worse declines. And it's a long-term strategy, but there's a really great case study which I can share with you, which outlines 8 steps to get aligned and how it was used to increase revenue by 34% for this business. And failure to align sales and marketing teams ultimately leads to wasted budget and resources, as up to around, I think, 65% of B2B content is not being used, and close to 75% of marketing leads never convert into a sale. And there's one stat that I wanted to share from the CMO's agenda report, which was produced by the Aberdeen Group. But what that found was that by successfully aligning sales and marketing, you can generate 32% higher revenue, retain 36% more customers, and achieve 38% higher win rates. And the research I love also talks to higher brand awareness and an increase in average deal size by aligning the two. And it's something that I'm really passionate about. I work very closely at Sendle with our sales director. He's fantastic. And yeah, that's my biggest piece of advice for B2B marketers.
That's awesome. Align, align, align.
Yeah.
All right. Love it. Who are some of the kind of thought leaders and maybe influencers? I know those terms have also some negative connotations, but people that you kind of look to or you go to get advice on sales and marketing, in the sales and marketing space?
So the biggest influencer for me is Mark Ritson. I'm sure you've heard of Mark Ritson,
Of
but
course.
yeah.
Of course.
So I did the mini MBA last year in brand management, which was fantastic. Obviously, Mark Ritson is a former marketing professor. He's got a PhD in marketing, and he also works as an international brand consultant. But yeah, like I said, I was fortunate enough to do the mini MBA, and yeah, got some really great learnings from Mark, and obviously from his network as well. So I often keep an eye on what he's doing or what he's recommending.
Last question.
Yeah.
Jessica, what's something that excites you about B2B today?
Look, the thing that excites me the most is marketing automation and the endless possibilities around CRM. So at Sendle, we use HubSpot, and I'm constantly going in there and finding new features or new opportunities. And something specifically that excites me around HubSpot is the great attribution reporting that we're leveraging at Sendle, and which is really helping inform our customer personas and other work.
Jessica, this has been a great conversation. I think you've shed so much light on product marketing as a whole and a lot of actionable tactics, insights, and advice. So just want to say thank you so much for coming on the podcast. If somebody wants to kind of reach out and know more, what's the best way for them to find out more about you or Sendle?
LinkedIn's the best way.
Okay. So hit Jessica up on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And we go from there. But Jessica, again, thanks so much for coming on the podcast and for your time.
Thank you so much for having me, Shaheen. It was awesome. Thank you.
Today's episode of Growth Colony was produced by Alexander Hipwell and Liza Maywald. It was edited by Dave Samito with additional editing by Liza Maywald and music arrangement by Alexander and Liza. Special thanks to Tina Wabe. We couldn't make the show without you. Growth Colony is hosted by Shaheen Hoda, Director of Growth at Xgrowth. If you enjoy the podcast, please subscribe and give us a rating on Spotify or Apple Podcasts. Do you think you'd be a great guest or just keen for a chat? Send through an email at podcast@xgrowth.com.au. That's podcast@xgrowth.com.au. That's all for now. We'll catch you next week, right here on Growth Colony.